What is going on, guys? Today we're checking out the Creative Outlier Gold. Now, this is a pair of earbuds that I really wanted to like. I really truly did. I wanted so badly to think these were great earbuds, but my experience told me different. But before we jump into the details on that, if you don't know who I am, my name is JDubb, and I'm here to help you guys make a better tech buying decision. And if that sounds like something you're interested in, please consider subscribing to the channel, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any other videos. Now, with that all said, let's unbox these guys and see what we get. Alright guys, so here we have the Outlier Gold True Wireless Sweat-Proof In-Ear wireless earbuds. So packaging wise, you got your Creative Outlier orange up here on the top. You got a picture of them right there. 14 hours per charge. We'll talk about that here in just a minute after we're done with the unboxing. We got a bunch of specs on the back, which we'll talk about here momentarily, but let's slide these guys open and see what we get in the package. So we pull this plastic piece off here, plastic shielding. We got the earbuds themselves right here, as you can see. We've got the case itself right here, which is this kind of cool cylindrical slide in and out case. But let's pull these guys out and get these out of the way. In the package, we got a manual, we got a quick start guide, we got warranty information. In the packaging here, we've got some additional ear tips, as you can see right there. We've got the different size ear tips, and we have a USB-C charging cable right there as well. So USB-C charging on deck, which is pretty cool. And again, we'll talk about all that here in just a minute. So now that you've seen everything in the package, let's break it down, the specs, the features, and what I think about these earbuds. Now, first things first, I want to be 100% honest with you guys. These were sent out to me for free by Creative, right? They reached out to me and said, hey, we would love for you to review these. I said, absolutely, I would love to. They look amazing. I got them, I tested them. We'll talk about specs here in just a minute. I ran into some problems with them. I had them, they actually sent me another pair, and I tested those, and it had the same results. So at the end of the day, this has been, everything that I'm talking about here has been double tested. I have tried all sorts of things, and we'll break it all down here, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I put a lot of time into really testing these earbuds, and I really wanted to like them. But before we jump into that, let's talk about the specs of these earbuds. Now, I'm going to read the specs off the back of the packaging because I want you to know what they're saying that it's available here, right? And then we'll kind of validate those, and I'll talk you through my experiences with these as well. So right off the bat, we have 14 hours per charge. On a single charge of battery life, we have 14 hours. That is true. I experienced fantastic battery life. They did some amazing work with the batteries. If you need a pair of earbuds that'll last a long time on a single charge, 14 hours is awesome, and it's true. I got 14 and a half hours every single time I tested them. Absolutely amazing. They work great. Moving on from there, you got 39 hours of total playtime with the case. They have graphene diaphragms, Bluetooth 5.0, Qualcomm aptX, AAC, IPX5 sweatproof, voice dialing features, Siri and Google Assistant. You get some ear tips in there. You get a great looking case and all that stuff. So all that stuff sounds great, and it all checks out as far as specs wise. So where did I run into some troubles? Well, there's a few different places, and I'll break it down for you right now. So the first one I want to talk about, and perhaps the biggest one I want to talk about, is sound quality. Now, sound quality overall was a pretty severe letdown for me. And I think this is, and I thought at first I knew why. The ear tips on these are very thin, very flexible, very pliable. They're like almost a non-existent membrane. I had a very hard time getting them to seal my ear completely. They, even on the largest size, right? I usually fit a medium ear tip on every other ear tip, but the thinness and the flexibility of this ear tip just made it almost impossible for me to get a seal. And so right off the bat, when I started playing music, I was like, wow, I need to get a seal because these are not sounding that good. They didn't have much bass. I guess they did okay in the highs and mids, but that was because the bass was pretty much muted in my experience. So what I did is, after I got the second pair, right, because I was just like, maybe these are just defective, and they sent me out another pair. I tested them, got the exact same result. So then I was like, all right, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and just see if maybe I'm just not getting a seal and that's the problem. So I went and I got my Comply foam tips. I found a pair that matched. With Comply foam tips, I got a perfect seal in my ears. Absolutely blocked the entire ear canal. Sound was still not very much there. I was very, very unimpressed overall with the sound signature, even getting a fantastically perfect seal. Now, this could just be my experience. This, again, audio is subjective, but I have heard so many other pairs of earbuds at much cheaper build quality that I would have chosen over the Outlier Golds. Moving on from there, the overall fit, just the way that they're kind of shaped and the way that they sit in my ears, I got a lot of ear fatigue. They have a really kind of a big bulb on the back side of them, and they kind of fit in there, and they just kind of touch different parts of my ears. And so for me, again, this is all subjective, right? Everyone's ear anatomy is a little bit different. I just felt that after long listening sessions, they were pretty uncomfortable, and I really just wasn't that impressed with the fit. I felt like they did get down in the ear canal well, but again, without that seal, because of those really flimsy, rubber diaphragms, they just didn't work that well. So again, another miss was kind of on the whole kind of fit, in my opinion. One thing that I did like was the buttons themselves. I feel like if you're going to have a button on a pair of earbuds these days, not touch or anything like that, if you're going to have an actual physical button, it's really difficult to find that right balance to where it doesn't feel like you're jamming it in your ear. And overall, my experience with those was great. So I didn't feel like when I was manipulating the controls on the device, I didn't feel like I was jamming the earbuds down into my ears, which was pretty solid. So overall, on that side of things, they did pretty well. Another pro is they look really nice. I think the kind of soft gold color with the kind of the nice LED on the outside, and the case itself is really cool looking. So I think at the end of the day they look really nice, and they present really well. So I think the design overall in that respect was great. I think they did a great job with that as well. Creative definitely made a pretty looking pair of earbuds, but at the end of the day, it still just didn't quite perform for me. And the last thing that I want to talk about was this Super X-Fi software. Okay, they have an app, it's called Super X-Fi, and it's designed to help you customize your audio on the earbuds themselves. I thought at first just getting it set up was super, super difficult. Trying to take a picture of your ear, so where it would kind of line up, and it took kind of like it was trying to take an image of my ear and adjust the audio tuning and things like that to the shape of my ear. But on an earbud, it's in your ear, so they would probably be better off 3D image mapping the inside of your ear, which I think is technologically and for the most case kind of impossible with this type of technology. So that was kind of clunky and weird. But finally, I did end up getting it set up, and I started playing with the audio profiles and stuff like that, and I was able to give them a little bit more bass through the software. The problem was that it would only play tracks that were on my device. I couldn't use it with Tidal or Google Music or Spotify because it doesn't actually translate to any audio streaming services. It only played the tracks that were stored on my phone itself, which was pretty much useless to me in that respect. So the X-Fi software, I get the idea behind it, but I think overall it was kind of useless. So I'm doing this because I wanted to just be honest with you guys with my experience. I gave two different separate devices a try. I respect Creative. I think Creative is an amazing company. I've used their sound cards in the past. I've heard their other products are really, really great. I've even heard people like the Outlier Golds. I can't figure out why. My experience was just not at all what I was hoping for. But again, this is not something, I'm not trying to bash Creative or anything like that. I think they're a great company, and I would love to try other products from them in the future. I just think that this one needs to be rethought in a lot of different ways. Some of the things that I would work on with them, if I was to be able to give them some feedback, would be making them touch controls, trying to minimize the size, even though I know that there's probably just a bigger battery in there to get that 14 hours of battery life. I get that. I personally don't need 14 hours of battery life, right? Because if I have a charging case with me, it's kind of not usually an issue. So if they could reduce that size and bring that battery life down a little bit, I would be okay with that. The next thing, perhaps the biggest thing, is ditch those earbuds, those ear tips. Those soft gel diaphragm ear tips that are pretty much translucent are almost useless in many cases. Even if you were to get a good seal, they are so thin that you're still going to get some audio bleed. And so I think trying to get maybe a foam tip or just a regular everyday gel tip would be a much better scenario. So definitely working on that as well. And if you're going to make an app, if you're gonna have software, make it useful for people, because most people are gonna be using Spotify and other streaming services. So making your app compatible with that, you know, changing the EQ in the device itself, in the earbuds themselves, like some of the other companies out there are doing, would be super, super beneficial. So with all that said, guys, that's my thought on the Creative Outlier Gold. I think hopefully this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, I know I'm probably going to get flamed by some people who love Creative and love the Outlier Golds, and I get that. Everybody is subjective, but that was my experience, and I tested it. And like I said, guys, I really wanted to like these earbuds. They just didn't quite perform. But I will still put the links down in the description below, so if you want to go check them out, read some of the reviews on Amazon and stuff like that, feel free to go check them out. I could be totally wrong. You guys can totally disagree with me, and that is totally fine. But hopefully this was helpful for you guys. But that, at the end of the day, is it for me, and I will see you in the next video.